Hello, it is sisterguard here. Hopefully having a great day. I'm having a great day. We're back today in Arise Ragnarok. It is officially in beta, and I wanted to kind of talk about the game, how to play it, my thoughts and opinions, and just some stuff that I feel like y'all need to know. So basically it's tips and tricks to getting started. So before we get into that, please make sure you smash the level like button, do the same subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it a lot, and we're gonna get into it. So Arise Ragnarok crossover. What is this game about? Basically, this is a dungeon crawler. If you played Arise crossover, this is not the same thing. So when you load into the game, currently right now, the game is in beta. There is only 10% of the game currently in the game at the moment, if that makes sense. There is only two classes available to play. There's Assassin and Mage. I'm gonna let you know, starting out, it really does not matter what you pick. What it's going to matter is when you hit level 40. But I'm gonna go ahead and recommend you go Mage. However, when you are starting out, go ahead and put your first points into the strength stat. Now, we're gonna get into stats real quick. There are 6 stats in the game. We have strength, intelligence, shadow, vitality, agility, and mana. So, strength has to deal with the physical damage you deal. Intelligence has to deal with spells. That does not count towards physical spells. Physical spells are affected by strength. We have shadow, so that improves how much damage they do. We have vitality. Vitality has to deal with your health. We have agility, which has to do with your movement speed. And we have mana. Mana is used to summon your shadows. Mana is not used for spells or skills. It is used for your shadows. So, unless you're going straight shadow, which we can talk about different builds you can do here in a little bit, you really don't need to touch it. But let's go ahead and get into the game. You're going to spawn on in. You're going to have absolutely nothing. What I would recommend at this point is there's going to be some quest givers you're going to see around you. So you're going to have 3 different types of quests. You're going to have greenish blue, yellow, and red. So all you need to do in order to get these quests is you need to go on up and simply just run into them and hit E. And they'll give you a quest. The greenish blue or the low end quests are going to give you 1000 XP. The yellow quests are going to give you 3,000 and the red quests are going to give you 5,000. Now these quests are scaled. Basically, the greenish blue ones are going to be the easiest, yellow is medium, red is hard. I will tell you, as you level up, the quest's difficulty scales with you, meaning the mobs you will encounter are going to get harder and match you. The amount of XP you gain does not change. So just letting you know there. Now in order to do this quest, you're going to get a little triangle with a little exclamation point in it. You're just going to go to the site and you're going to go ahead and defeat the mobs. Now, like I was saying, as you level up, you are going to basically, they're going to get harder and harder. It doesn't matter if you're level 1 or level 200. They are going to be scaled to your level, basically to the skill points that you have. Now from there, you're just going to keep progressing, leveling up and putting points. What I would recommend doing is go ahead and put your points into strength right now, because until you can get your first few shadows to help you in the beginning, you're not really going to be doing anything. Actually, it's pretty much until level 40. Once you hit level 40, make sure you have a stat, make sure you're in Mage, or if you're going to go ahead and do Assassin, you can. You're going to get an ability called, it's a little Phoenix, so it's going to give you that base damage. I would make sure you go ahead and are using that. This is going to be your first one you're going to be using, so you're just going to keep running around and doing this. I will tell y'all right now, there are dungeons in this game. They spawn every 30 minutes. There's a little global message that spawns, and they spawn in the same spot on all servers. So you can go there, you can go ahead and get in a group, and you can go ahead and do them. I will let you know they are very, very long. And if you are below level 160, you are not going to be able to solo these. So you're going to have to get in a group, and everyone's going to have to be moving pretty quickly. Now, if your shadows die while you are doing quests or dungeons, you can respawn them. For about, I do believe, between 10 and 20 mana. I will have to say, testing, even if going full shadow, right now, I don't find them useful. So don't really worry about that. You will note while you are looking at your shadow menu, they have different percents. This actually is indicative of how much damage they're doing, how good they are, so to speak. So they have a damage, ultimate, and health stack. So that's the percents you're looking at there. They do have different types. This has to do with their attacks that they're doing and how much their base stats are that are kind of hidden from us. I'm going to let you know right now, there's no explanation for this. I had to figure this out through trial and error. Again, right now, it really does not matter. because they're not doing that much. I really hope as they release more content for this game, shadows become useful, because as of right now, no, they are pretty little tokens that run along behind you. Now, I did talk about dungeons, so why are dungeons important? So when you complete a dungeon, one, it's 30,000 experience, which is an insane amount. It's going to get you a lot of levels, but you're also going to get a chest. This chest is going to allow you to get equipment. So the equipment does come in tiers. I got a staff too. It does 103 magic damage. That's not actually like a high end. I think I've seen 122. I think Vampire had on his. So this is going to give you a buff to your attacks. I would recommend at this point just going mage, because here's the deal. Remember the whole thing I talked about where if you start doing quests, they scale with your health? I have 1100 health. So we're going to go on over here to this little icon, and we're going to go take a look at what I'm talking about. So this is the icon that I'm talking about that you'll be going and looking for. I will let y'all know a little trick. You can actually cheese it. You just need to get close to the gate and you can stand on this side. But let's go ahead and stand on in here. These are Lycan. This should be an easy quest, by the way. He just did over 400 hit points to me in a single attack. Mind you, I can do half of his back. However, my shadows are getting one shot and now I'm dead. So this is not a you get overpowered and can defeat the overworld mobs very easily. Now we'll go ahead and tell y'all this is not really an AFK-able game at this point. So for those of you that were expecting this to be like Arise, where, you know, half the stuff we've got going on, we're going to be AFK, that doesn't happen. Now you don't have to have your weapon out, but if you'd like to draw your weapon, go ahead and hit R, and that's going to pull whatever weapon you have out. B arises your shadows for you. And when you want to go and arise the shadows, you need to go on up to them. Let's go ahead and eat this into existence. You need to hit E. You're going to get 3 chances to arise all shadows. That's all you have to do. Now, if you do die and you do return to your quest, the guys will not regenerate health. So that's good. In order to complete the quest, you do need to kill everything for that quest. And then it takes a moment and you'll get your XP. So there we go. We got 2 levels from that, especially where we're at. So not too terribly bad, but again, they keep getting stronger as we get stronger. This is not the same that could be said for dungeon. Dungeon's a little more stagnant. There are 3 different types of dungeons I've seen. There's a spider, goblin, and a Lycan dungeon. So that determines what the end boss will be that you're looking at. So just FYI there. Now my overall thoughts and opinions. Had they not said that this was only 10% of their content, I would be incredibly cruel about it. But because they have been transparent that only 10% is available, and for what they mostly have is, you know, some decent systems, I will say it's okay. I am going to be very transparent. I already knew around what was already in the game before it released, so I already had my expectations tampered. I know others may not have. Compared to other games that I've seen come out of this genre, there's a lot to be desired. So I really hope in the next 4 days, because they're supposed to be making constant updates the next 4 days, that we will see stuff. So I will revisit this game. I'll probably come back and play it and check on it, but in 4 days, so on Thursday, I'll post another video of stuff they've added. Currently, there is no pay to win options in the game. The only real stats that we can interact with are skills. You can get weapons. I believe there's armor. You can see the shadows. We can put stat points in here. And that's it. There's nothing else in the game right now. On October 22nd, there is going to be a Halloween event where there will be limited stuff in the game. So I would still come check it out, even if it's just for that. But just be aware and have your expectations being realistic. That's what I'm going to say. Be realistic. And I know some people are going to fuss at me for being rough about what I'm saying today. Also understand, I've played most of the dungeon crawlers on Roblox. And yeah, I almost wouldn't call it a dungeon crawler. I kind of would also equate it to like how Blox Fruit was, but with a lot less stuff. So I played for about 4 hours. Honestly, had I gotten a decent group to do dungeon in, which I want to give a big shout out to these folks here for we finally got a dungeon that we could do. Also, Lab and Iris, thank you for helping me in the overworld, getting some red quests done super quick. Honestly, I would not call this game soloable. So if that's something you're looking for, this would not be it. You really need to do stuff in a group up until about 160. So that's something else they need to consider is you're going to have a lot of people turned off that they can't do stuff by themselves. Like I understand having like one or two big things, but when a core mechanic in order to get weapons, you have to do in a group, that's really going to turn off a lot of players. I do also want to comment one thing I have forgotten to mention during general talking about features is there is PvP in this game. You can opt out of it. So, but they are probably going to be adding a lot of PvP features, but with the game being so one-sided towards one class at the moment and it not being balanced well, yeah, I don't like PvP, so I'm not going to weigh in too heavily on that. That is my impressions. We will revisit this in a couple days, so I would stick tuned for that video. I'll go ahead and pin it if my opinion has changed, but I would definitely hold y'all's judgment until Thursday, and I will probably give my final judgment when they pull the game out. They are going to shut the game down after that and then re-release it again, so I may say yet again, hold judgment. So I'm probably still going to do 3 videos for the game. We're probably at least going to have, I'll look at the Halloween content. I'll go right before the game gets pulled as I'm playing. I'll kind of give my opinion. And then we'll also have a video for when it re-releases and reopens. Kind of what my thoughts and feelings are on it. I will tell y'all they're not going to wipe people right now. So if you want to play and you can progress all the way, be my guest. So I don't know how to rank up higher. I do know most people I've seen are E rank. I'm going to leave y'all here. I got to get going. And see y'all next time.